5 seconds. I thank you all for the address of welcome. I am here on my first official visit after assuming office. It is very kind of the people of Madras to show their regard for the office of the President. I think that it is as it should be intended for the office of the President, who is supposed to represent the whole country and to serve all equally. It has been my privilege since I arrived in this city to be the recipient of goodwill and kindness from all, no doubt that it is intended to strengthen the position of the head of state so far as the country is concerned. We attained independence only a short time ago. A great deal still remains to be done to make independence full of meaning for everyone who resides in this country. We were engaged in a struggle to achieve freedom for a pretty long time. Even after having attained it, we have been confronted with numerous difficulties. We have faced those difficulties to a considerable extent with success. But that is not enough. A great deal of positive and constructive work is required to make the people happy and prosperous, and to make everyone in this country feel the glow of freedom. I think fighting for independence was not as difficult as is working for the good of the people. While we were engaged in the struggle against a foreign power, we could get the assistance of all classes and groups of people who were in favor of independence. That was one kind of work and had its own rewards. It brought a certain amount of suffering and sacrifice which were borne by one's own choice. A certain amount of publicity also went with that sacrifice. Here, in this constructive work, we have a different kind of this to do. No doubt, independence has brought with it many positions which we can occupy now, but which would not aspire to in the past. We can make ourselves more comfortable and more prosperous, but the man who wants to devote himself to the quiet service of the country has less reward by way of publicity and headlines in newspapers. In fact, this is what the country needs today. We want our big politicians to conduct the affairs of the state. Apart from them, however, we want a large body of workers who will silently and quietly work day and night with the sole objective of servicing the common man. Unless the country can produce a large number of such workers, the real object of winning independence will not be attained. Many years ago, I had the opportunity of traveling with an Englishman who was holding high position in this country as an educationist. He told me that if ever there was a revolution in this country, it would be a revolution of a very much different kind from what they were used to. In Europe, he also told me that in Britain there was a large body of people whom nobody knew. These people were themselves rich and belonged to the upper class, but were devoting themselves to the service of the poor people. It was the class of people, the educationist stated, who by their service created a link between the high and the low, the rich and the poor, and prevented a revolution of the kind which was seen in some countries of Europe. He also expressed his regret that in India that kind that there were not many people who belonged to the higher strata. Letter from the Chief Secretary, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad, to all the secretaries and heads of departments in the state. Sir, during the last meeting. It was observed that in some districts there have been surplus staff, whereas in some others there are a number of posts lying vacant for years together. This kind of imbalance causes inconvenience to the administration both at the district level as well as the state level, in so far as the implementation of the various developmental schemes are concerned. This question has been engaging the attention of the government for the last few months in view of the fact that there should not be transfer from one region to another as per the order of the president. A committee was constituted to study the whole problem and offer suggestions. One of the recommendations is to completely erase the restrictions on inter regional transfers, treating the entire state as one region. This would not only facilitate deployment of the surplus staff of one place to another where their services are most required. The government has accepted this suggestion and issued orders for mobilization of the excess staff to the areas of deficit. The heads of departments have been delegated with the necessary powers to effect transfers using their discretion. The process is to be completed within the next 6 months of the current year. I request you to give wide publicity to the orders. Yours sincerely.